To this now, in November 2019, a young black man had just 500 rand to start a business. Fast forward 3 years later, and with a business savvy and determination, Torha Holdings is now a thriving company. The beverage manufacturer is unique to Africa and supports youth empowerment. The founder and MD, Jubilation Magagule, is in studio and joins me for our chat this morning, actually. And thank you very much for taking the time to join us in studio. It's a wonderful story where you hear about where entrepreneurs start their journeys and how they are able to kind of plow through all the challenges and end up where we're sitting here today. Tell us about the time that you decided to start the company and the 500 rand that you had and how you were able to stretch it.
Oh, thank you very much for having me, and thank you very much for hosting me. I remember it was back in 2019. I was before the 500 thing, I had to look. My mentor advised me that Jubilation, when you want to start something, you don't do something just because someone is doing it.
Yeah.
You need to find a problem first and come with a solution. So when I looked at our municipality in Bushbuckridge, we have a challenge of clean water and so on. I was like, what can I do better? How can I contribute towards this problem? And then I found, okay, cool, I need to bottle water, purify water. But by then I didn't have any machine. I didn't even know how to do the production and so on. So I had 500 rand. I approached a local manufacturer. By then, someone in Soweto, for heaven's sake, and I mean Bushbuckridge. And then we negotiated for them to be my manufacturer, and then I supply.
Yeah.
And then they bottled it for me. I collected the water. I remember I used a taxi to ship them to Bushbuckridge. So the 500, it was 5 packs. So it was like, okay, how do I take it out now? And I approached 5 different business people in my area. Like, okay, cool, I've started business of selling water. I'm not selling this one to you. I want you to have a taste. I gave them a pack, each one of them. They came back like, hey, Jubilation, I love your water. How can I order? And I started to scratch my hair, like, because I don't have money to buy more stock. I was like, you know what? I deal with special orders. You pay, I deliver.
Smart.
So you a minimum order is 6 packs. Like, oh, okay, 6 packs, and then they've ordered. All in all, I had to deliver about 30 packs of water, of bundles. And by then, I saw like Soweto was far. I tried to look around Nelspruit. I found one, and then placed the order, delivered to a client. Then my client base kept on growing in that way. Got to sign up with big retailers and around Bushbuckridge during that season. And came COVID, and my product picked up during that COVID season. And then some of them, one of the retail saw that the product is selling fast, and there's COVID and there's winter. What's happening? And then they called me in, like, okay, I want to give you a vendor number. I want you to supply in the Longford. I was like, I don't have the capacity to go to that level.
Yes.
I can take the vendor number, but I can't supply. They're like, okay, you will come back whenever you're ready to sustain the market. So that was the story for how I started.
It sounds like there was a lot of growth opportunity for you very early on in the business, 1 year into that. Apart from the supply challenges that you've just described and having to partner with someone in Soweto when you're based in Bushbuckridge, what were some of the other challenges that you faced as a business?
Okay, the tricky one, it was like, okay, my business started to stretch. Having to partner with funeral parlors around, and those ones, they take a lot of water now and again. So most of them, they've got systems placed in their company. When you visit them, like, okay, I want to start supplying you. They're like, okay, wait, we don't have a problem supporting your Jubilation. What you need to do, like, we pay maybe on the 15th of every month. So meaning I have to have budget. Remember, I'm starting. I have to have budget to finance their order so that they will pay on the 15th, meaning I have to give them on credit. So you'll find that I supply maybe 6 funeral parlors. They take on credit. They pay on different dates. And I've got my clients that they want water now and again. So I will fail to sustain the market the demand became higher than the supply.
Yeah, and that's very interesting because as you learn business, you learn as you go. You're not born with the knowledge of how to run a sustainable business. Did you have any mentorship? Did you have people that supported you and that wanted to partner with you to see that you at least enter the market and achieve sustainable growth?
I was so lucky. I've got a lot of mentors. I've got Beatrice Acheleke, she's from Europe. She took me from Sharpeville while I was doing something in Sharpeville back in the days, and then she groomed me, she introduced me into business. And I've got Jethro Godi, is the one who advising me on how to take financial decisions and so on when it comes to and everything. And I've got also my mentor, Happy Godi, he's a legal advisor, but also my mentor on how I should, because I used to do gentleman's agreement.
Yes.
I was like, no, Jubilation, when you pitch to someone, you need to have an NDA and also have to have a contract whenever you agree with someone. Because like I had a lot of clients not paying me because like there's
nothing in writing.
There's nothing in writing. Like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. We took your water. Where's the truck? Like, but I've got an invoice. Like, gentleman's agreement. Some of them I end up losing them, and some I won. But that's where I learned that like legal document, binding documents is very important.
Yeah.
In business.
How do you market yourself? There's so many big brands of water out there. It's a very saturated market. So what is it that you say to a funeral parlor, a retailer, to say this is the water that you want to have on your shelves?
Okay. I will say this. I've before. Okay. I specialize with branding personally. I deal with brands. I brand people and so on. So before I could start selling my product, I studied people, how they behave and how they react on things. What I did is like I branded the product in a way that people will want to associate themselves with it. So I made it look like a luxury drinking my water.
Yeah.
So when you drink my water, you feel like you want to tell the world that you are drinking the water. So I never had the budget for marketing. So, but I used the influencers that we have in Bushbuckridge, because I've been into the entertainment in Bushbuckridge. So I've got relationship with most of the influencers. So I will use them I will work with them, collaborate with them to advertise the product. So even now, people, when they're buying the water, they feel like people should know that they're drinking the water. In that way, and then the awareness keeps on growing.
Yeah.
Just like that.
And tell us about the opportunities you've been able to create, not only for yourself, but have you found that you've been able to employ people, create an income for households? You know, times are very tough, and it's quite important to note that small businesses in the country are the biggest employer. So tell us about the opportunities that you've been able to create for yourself, and maybe some young people you've been able to hire and empower.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Last year, I opened my first shop.
Yeah.
In Tulamahashi in August. So I've managed to employ 3 youth. I've got 3 people working there every day. And then I've partnered with 18 distributors, independent distributors, which are youth across, let me say, in Mpumalanga and Limpopo. So those people are the ones who are responsible of taking Torha to the retails on those areas and so on. So like I can say I've got plus 20 people that are benefiting indirect and direct from the product.
Yeah, and that's very important to note. And why was it important for you to have your first store in Mpumalanga? Is it symbolic for you, or is that just because that's where business started and it's just easier that way? And what are the expansion plans that you may have to go beyond Mpumalanga, Limpopo, Johannesburg maybe, and all the other places around the country, maybe even on the continent?
I will say I think it went back to why I started the business. Bushbuckridge, we've got a shortage of clean water. So the aim was to solve the problem, because like I make sure that people can come and do refills in the shop instead of buying the bottles. It's cheaper that way when they do refills, so that they can have access to clean water. And the matter of plans of growing and expanding to other places, I've got it on the plan, but the main issue then is still the capacity. So that's when I was like, okay, you know what, Jubilation, you've worked hard for the past 3 years. Now, I think in November, turning 4. And on this case, it's high time that you open doors for investors, because there were business people approaching me earlier, I was like to them, like, I don't know the value of my own business. They'll be like, no, there's a potential value. Like, you see it, but I don't see it. So meaning, if I might give you 1% at 20 rand, only to find out that 1% in the next coming 2 years will be worth 1 million. I'll be on the loss. So I was like, let me just first build the brand and the business and grow it. And I've seen the support that I'm receiving from Limpopo and Mpumalanga there. What do you call it? The support is just massive.
Yeah, yeah. Tell us a little bit about the name, what it means, but also as a final thought from you, if you had to give a young entrepreneur advice, not necessarily going into the beverage industry, but in any sector, what is it that you would tell them?
Okay. The name is Torha. Torha is Tsonga. It means tasty.
Oh, Dora, and
Dora.
Venda would say Dora. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, you're
okay,
Venda?
yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. I will say to the entrepreneurs or people who are wanting to start something, there's one principle that I'm using, which I think it always works for me. Use what you have to get what you don't have. So I had 500, and now I'm sitting here sharing my story, which it was 3 years ago. So if, for example, let me just give you an example. If I want to start a business of washing cars, but I don't have material, it can be much easier. I can check locally. I will check maybe, let me say Mr. Koza next door. But Mr. Koza, I see you've got 3 cars. Can I kindly please wash your car every week? Don't pay me now, you pay me at the end. My aim is that I want to open a car wash. And if possible, can you kindly please buy me this? Or else, even though this car wash, we don't really need the Hoover and so on when you're starting. I used to run a car wash back in Sharpeville. I was having a bucket and a dishwashing liquid, and I will use the dishwashing liquid also to clean the tires. Yes. So like, I didn't need the polish and so on. So I will wash the car and then and sweep with inside the car, and it was clean just like that. So you don't really need people. You need people to support you, but you need yourself first. You need to invest yourself into the project.
Yeah,
and be very dedicated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It sounds like it's also a big game of patience that you must have as well, and just trusting the process. Thank you very much, Jubilation, for joining us in studio. And of course, your business brings you a lot of jubilation, I'm sure. That is Jubilation Magagule joining us there. He is the founder and managing director of Torha Holdings.